Hello and welcome on in. We will get to the show in just a moment, but there is a big game on Thursday night that we have to discuss. Julie Donaldson, Logan Paulson here with you. Logan, that was absolutely a wild one. And of course, everybody is still buzzing after Washington defeated the Giants in an absolute crazy fashion. What's your biggest takeaway from that game?
I mean, obviously, you got to be fired up about Heineke and how he performed. Scott Turner called an outstanding game, got the guys involved early. Terry, Logan Thomas, Gibson had a nice game. I think offensively, you feel very, very good about where this team is at after this game.
All right, we weren't sure what to get from Taylor Heineke as he took over as QB1, but I think we showed that he's got a lot of moxie. Here's how this game went down. A big night for the franchise as they honored the late Bobby Mitchell at Thursday night's game. Officially retiring the number 49, the players had the sticker 49 on their helmets, and they renamed the main concourse after him. Bobby Mitchell's wife and children in attendance. A great night and a great man to honor. Let's get to the game. We're going to pick it up in the second quarter. Washington down 7, but Taylor Heineke to Terry McLaurin, and that ties it at 7.
Creative play call here, creative play design, creative use of personnel. Get your best player the ball early in the red zone and let that man eat. Love that by Scott Turner. Great maturation from week 1 to week 2.
His last 100-yard game was against the Giants as well, by the way. Likes playing against them. We'll take it. Now, just before the half, Washington back in the red zone. J.D. McKissic this time. That's good for a 2-yard touchdown run.
I love the big dogs here getting after it in the run game. Eric Flowers, great on the double team. Leonard Williams, easy walk-in for McKissic.
Yeah, barely touched there at all. Washington out 14-10. To the fourth quarter, Washington down 26-20. Heineke with the pump fake, but he goes to McKissic. McKissic turns on the gas. He is almost there, pushed out of bounds, but not after gaining 56. And then the very next play, Heineke goes through his progressions and finds Ricky Seals-Jones for his first catch for Washington, and what a catch it was.
How about Ricky Seals-Jones? There was a question about whether he'd make this team, and then making a gigantic play in a huge moment in this game. Absolutely fantastic.
Boy, he goes up and gets that, keeps his feet in. Fantastic. Washington has the lead 27-26. Just over 2 minutes to play. Washington looking to eat up some of the clock, but Heineke intercepted by James Bradbury, and definitely not where you want that turnover.
Great break on the ball by Bradbury. Got to give hats off to him.
All right, they'll hold him to just a field goal, which means Washington gets a chance to win it behind Dustin Hopkins. First attempt, no good, and the fans are going, no, it was 48, but a flag on the play.
What do you think he's thinking right now? Oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine being him in this moment.
He is saying, keep it cool, you get another chance at it, and this time when he does, man, he makes sure it counts. It is good.
Barely sneaks it in.
Washington defeats the Giants for the first time since 2018, 30-29 the final. And what a celebration it was. Emotions coming out of this one for the fan base, for the players, for the coaching staff were absolutely wild. And while you wouldn't have liked it to have to come down to that very final second and a missed kick, only to be a made kick by Dustin Hopkins, you take the win however you can get it. But you wanted to see more kind of out of Scott Turner and how he was really kind of to define this offense. But you mentioned you did see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he did a really nice job of getting the playmakers involved early. I already mentioned that, but I think in addition to that, he just showed a nice kind of array of new formations, new personnel groupings, get his playmakers involved. McKissic we saw a lot more of, which I loved. He was a guy that was noticeably absent from the week 1 performance. So I love that. I loved his creativeness in the red zone. He just did some really nice things. So hats off to him. Outstanding job.
How in are you on Heineke and what he did?
I'm like lukewarm on Heineke, but I'm a little bit of a skeptic when it comes to quarterbacks. I need between 3 and 7 weeks of starts for me to kind of to buy in on what they can do and what they can't do. And I think obviously this week against the Bills, there's going to be a good opportunity to see what Heineke can do.
All right, he has the opportunity. He will have plenty of time to prepare for the Buffalo Bills. Now, on the other side, the defense still seems to be underperforming from the performance they put on the field last year. We are anticipating taking that next step. Why do you think that they haven't yet?
I think, obviously, like offenses, this is an offensive-driven league. It's really hard for defenses to go from a top 5 performance in 1 year to the next year to be a top 5 team again. I think they've moved the pieces around. I think this is a good group of guys. I think they need to do some gelling, and I think Jack Del Rio needs to find out what he feels really good with this secondary. I think they've got some good man coverage guys, and you can tell in the game some of their zone concepts weren't quite as strong as their man coverage. Obviously, there were some mistakes in both areas, but I think it's a good group. They just need to kind of come together in a nice way.
Daniel Jones, obviously, he had some outstanding runs. He seems to cause problems for Washington at all times, as most mobile quarterbacks do. They have another mobile quarterback coming up in Josh Allen in Buffalo. What do they need to do to make sure he doesn't have success?
So Josh Allen is a different type of runner. A lot of design runs for Daniel Jones in this game. That's where he killed the Washington football team. Josh Allen is more from the pocket, more off-schedule guy, not quite the same challenge.
All right, an extra day or two to be able to prepare for the Buffalo Bills, but they are celebrating the win over the Giants.
Hi, everyone, and welcome into the Players Club presented by Pepsi, a show brought to Washington football fans from those who know the team best, the players. I'm Renee Washington, joined in studio today by Fred Smoot, D'Angelo Hall, our Washington former team standout stars, talent legends. And we will have Cam Sims joining the show later today as we're going to get into a fun game, learn more about who he is, and talk more about his career. So first I want to get into the kickoff presented by Inova, the official health system of the Washington football team, and you can learn more at inova.org. And just to let everybody know, we are having this conversation as a reminder before the Giants game played on Thursday night. So let's take a look back at what we saw from the game versus the Chargers. We saw this team early on have some things to work through, but I first want to get into the quarterback position. Obviously, we saw Ryan Fitzpatrick go down in that Week 1 game versus the Chargers, and in the second quarter, here comes Taylor Heineke. But before we get into Taylor, let's talk about Ryan. What did you see from him in a quarter and some change?
Not much, because the pace of the game was so slow at that point. I don't think we've seen a lot, but when you talk about a hip injury, I know they say 6 to 8 weeks, but for a quarterback, throwing, it's a lot. That's one of those injuries nobody wants to hear. You never want to hear hip Achilles. You just don't want to, because it takes a while to come back, and you don't know how your body going to differ from the last person that had to come back from the injury. But I don't think him and Heineke are that different of a makeup of a player. So you think they are?
Oh, man, it's 100% different.
Tell me how.
100% different. I mean, you know, I just thought even going into the season that all of what I thought this offense was going to look like, the expectations with a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? The ability to really push the ball down the football field. Mm-hmm. He's not really going to play outside the pocket. Mm-hmm. You know, I thought this offense really did have a chance to be dynamic. Now, in a quarter and some change of Ryan Fitzpatrick, we didn't get to see that, right? He didn't have much time. Mm-hmm. You know, just even going into half, and that's after Taylor Heineke had a little drive that he picked up a couple yards right before half. And they were able to get some points out of it. I mean, we still were outgained by, I think, 200 yards. And so just offensively in general, I just felt like we just started slow. But I think these guys are dramatically different quarterbacks. Like I was saying, I felt like Ryan Fitzpatrick was going to play from the pocket. He was going to give you some shots. He gave you that veteran leadership, the guy who's been in this league for 17 years, has seen a little bit of everything. You know, it's kind of in the back half of his career. And so, you know, he's playing a little bit looser, understanding that I don't need to win games. I can just manage this game.
Myself.
Yeah, whereas Taylor is a little bit more of a gunslinger. I've always believed that the way to win football games, it's so simple, man. Like, we make this out to be like rocket science, and it's really not. If you have a quarterback, you got to protect him. Protect him, period.
Trench warfare
protect him.
Wins you football games. And then best defensive line,
best
and
then defensively, you gotta move him off his spot. And so with all that being said, defensively, I think we all were expecting a little bit more. You know, I think it's no secret.
A lot of them young. See, we talking to two vets that know how to take the game into your hands and say, you know what, guys, we out here going to war with these guys. Hey, we need to start do this. When coach called this, we gonna do this. Like, that's what happens. But now you got a team that besides Bostic, most of these guys under the age of 25, they're going to do exactly what they're being told to do. And I've seen a lot of cover for, and I've seen a lot of other things that I would have been more like telling coach, man, let's send some heat at this dude.
And we talk about cover 4 and veteran guys being on a football field. Like me and Smoot were watching some film and seeing coverages, and one quarter's look, and I'm like, bro, like, that's a 2-on-1, two DBs on one receiver. On this side is a 4-on-3 essentially. Like, when you got the numbers like that in coverage, you have to take advantage. And that was a 3rd and 17 was one of those
which
plays
broke our back.
Don't go anywhere, because coming up next, we're going to hear from Cam Sims joining us on the show, specifically about the beef between him and Fred's high school teams, that Louisiana, Mississippi high school football beef. Plus, we're going to get into a fun game with D Hall, Fred, and Cam right here on the Players Club.
And know someone whose fandom goes beyond the game. The NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan, is back. And we're looking to celebrate extraordinary Washington football team fans who are a positive influence and inspire others through their love of football. On the line this year, a trip to Super Bowl 56 in Los Angeles. Visit NFL.com/NFL Fan of the Year now to learn more and nominate today.
The Players Club is brought to you by Geico. Whether you rent or own, Geico makes it easy to bundle home and auto insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
This one's for every sports fan who just spent the entire game explaining to someone the entire game. You've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar.
With a Honda in your garage, every summer adventure leads to another. Kickstart your summer with a great deal on a Pilot, Accord, or HR-V, only at the Honda Summer Sales Event.
Imagine coming home to a place where the fun never ends. A happy community set in beautiful rolling horse country, where the custom homes and villas are extraordinary, and the Jack Nicklaus Signature Golf Course and other amenities make every day another reason to smile. Visit Creighton Farms and you'll see it's happiness on a grand scale.
Jason, did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more?
Cool.
So what are you waiting for? Michaela Maroney to get your Frisbee off the roof?
I'll get it.
Whoa.
Here you go.
Thank you, Michaela.
Dude, get it. I'm not getting it. You get it. You threw it. It's your Frisbee.
Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save.
My work has been viewed by 100 million people. My work helps save lives. My work has gone platinum. My work gives people hope. I work at FedEx.
Take your career to the next level with one of our many open positions.
Welcome back to the Players Club presented by Pepsi. It's time for the Pepsi Player Profile. Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Washington football team. Well, now we've got joining us here in studio, number 11, changing the number, Cam Sims. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. I can't complain. So, Cam, I've been a huge fan of yours, man.
Me too, brother.
From the time you came on this team as a practice squad player, just making play after play. You know, I was one of those dudes that was always fighting, man. Like, man, why is he not on the football field?
He earned it.
And then to finally get that opportunity, you know, up in New York, you catch a pass that would have potentially won the football game, right? If we go for two and we get that, we win the game. Or if we kick the field goal, we go to overtime. How exciting was that? Your first touchdown after the journey, man. Walk us through that a little bit.
My mom, she always just said, stay focused, stay in the book. So I really couldn't just do no complaining. I just always stayed grinding. Yeah, always.
And do you think your childhood and growing up, I'm from Mississippi, you from Louisiana, do you think that prepared you for those ups and downs? Because I know it did for me. Because the one thing about coming to the league is you're going to have up and downs. I don't care how you enter. You can come as the number one pick. You can not get drafted. You're going to have them up and downs. Do you think, like I said, where you came from had a lot to do with it too?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Coming up from Monroe, Louisiana, shoot, you had to do your thing. You had to always work. And then, like, growing up, I always had my grandma. Shoot, she had 8 kids.
Oh, I know.
Shoot,
my grandma got 18.
Yeah, that's how it was.
Yeah, so you got to work. I mean, so I always had that work mentality. So, you know.
And then here go the thing about it. Most people don't know my high school in Jackson, Mississippi plays his high school in Monroe, Louisiana. And we was talking earlier about the show about what would have happened if we would have had a chance to get at each other now. Maybe me, you, and D-Hall.
We do now.
Hey. Tell me your best thing if we lined up eye to eye right now. You, me, and D-Hall. What would I have to worry about?
Oh, I'm telling you. Shoot, you gotta guard me that fade ball 10. Like you gotta.
That's in my bag right there. That fade.
Hey, that's all I'm gonna say. Coach Carr, hey, he know. Shoot, when I do like this, you know what time it is. Like I need that. So if we played each other in high school, you would have had every other play. No.
How big were you in high school?
How big?
Yeah, size.
Did you have a growth spurt? Yeah.
Sure, I'm pretty much the same height right now.
I'm picturing him and Smoot, and hell, Smoot came out of college going into the draft, and I think he did the 225 one time. I think.
And walked out of there.
And so I'm just really trying to imagine a young Smoot trying to press
at 175.
Cam Sims. Walk me through that, Smoot. All right, how you gonna press?
This is what I'm gonna do.
A big dude like that.
This is what I'm gonna do. One thing I always had was long arms.
He got longer arms.
But guess what?
Man.
But guess what? When we on that line of scrimmage, I don't have to be like face mask to face mask with him to jam him. And all I know is this: 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. That quarterback gotta go somewhere else. I always had a good thing of this. With tall guys, when they coming down, that's when I'm going up.
Okay. I think that's
So I would have had a plan for Cam.
So you trying to you trying to show off your technique.
Hey, you know what? In the game, that's the only thing that can save you. If I ain't got Chase Young rushing somebody in Montana Sweat, you know who we had, Sugar Fields. we had a whole different pass rush, D-Hall. We was literally out there covering for 5 seconds.
Who's Sugar Field? Let me get to the mic. Who's Sugar Field?
Phillip Daniels.
Oh, man. How cool is it to walk in this locker room and see so many dudes
John Allen,
that you've been to battle with, you won national championships with, and dudes who know what you about?
They played a big part in there too. Like when a couple of days, you know, you had them days you get frustrated, but they know what you were doing. Of course, Payne was first round, so he was like, you can't do certain stuff. I can do this. You know, he was teaching me. So I mean, like, come in, go to work, and just tell him keep doing your thing each and every day. Do your thing. Be you.
So I want you guys to get your whiteboards out. This is for you. Your markers there, your eraser. Because we're going to get to know y'all a little bit more. When you line up across me, you better be ready for my blank.
I didn't know what D'Angelo said without even looking at him.
All right, what'd he say? What'd he say?
What his going to be?
Yeah, what's his answer?
This guy?
Yeah.
It's all about him. His answer going to be something about himself.
Ready for me. I used to tell T.O. dog.
Not
be
me.
Ready, dog.
Listen to me. For my me.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, man. It ain't quite work that well with Randy Moss now.
I am crying right now.
Hey, I got bodies on my. Hey, I got bodies too. So that's what I tell Kess all the time. Everybody talk about that D-hop, and I still to this day I slipped. I mean, that route was so trash, but I did slip.
Get it out there. Go
but
ahead.
at the end of the day,
yes.
I love that dude. You know what I'm saying? Because I've ran up on so many cats in my career, and I've been able to take their soul. And so to see a young dude stand up and fight, and then see the player he became, I knew he was going to be a great player. So shout out D-Hop, you still my dude, even though you know I slipped. But yeah, me, because at the end of the day, like when I'm lining up against you, I've put in all the work. And so the reason I used to talk so much is because I didn't mind getting your best because I wanted that. Period. That just ain't in my nature, man. To see one of my guys, you know, get smacked around and not say nothing. So
well, I still don't like Steve Smith, and I ain't burying the hatchet. We don't get along. We ain't never gonna get along. And if you hear this, if I see you in the grocery store, we'll get at it in the bread aisle. That's just the way it is.
What we worried about with you, Cam?
Yeah, let's go back. Okay.
You gonna get off that ball?
Yeah, come on, you can't jam me, fam.
Oh, yes I can. Don't make me dust off these kangaroo cleats.
Ooh, nah, Fred, you too old.
Yeah, you know.
So if you could play another position, what would it be? Fred's looking at other people's boards.
Yeah, I'm cheating.
I mean, I'd have played about 3 or 4 if I could have.
Looking at other people's answers.
But
oh.
Who you want to go first?
Damn, go ahead, because I'm surprised.
She already saw it.
A kicker, dog.
A kicker?
Come on, because you can kick or because you just want to do it? What 30 years?
30 years.
Okay.
What they do at practice, fam?
They do nothing.
Chill.
Yeah, but
and
guess
how
what?
long they play?
Chill. A long time, dog.
All right, but let me ask you this. What happens when we in New York in December and the ball come out their toe bad and I don't want nobody want to look at you on the bench because you.
Well, he's saying he gonna be automatic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what they're training for,
time in, man.
But you know, nobody get this on like a kicker.
Hey, I like that pressure,
You don't like it, Cam. Thank you for joining us. I wish you could stay and we get rid of the other two because you ain't bringing the beef and tension and shadiness and saltiness and whatever else.
You know, my high school did probably beat his high school this year, so you know, it probably be some internal beef right there.
One more for the road.
It might be a little beef.
A little sprinkle on.
One more going for the road. We've got more great one-liners from Jermaine Jackson, Smoot, and D. Hall, as we've got more to get into around the league. And Cam, thank you so much for joining us. So be right back for more on the Players Club as we're getting into more around the NFL. The Players Club is brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Washington football team.
Wings, better with Pepsi.
Welcome to Toyota's National Sales Event.
Ooh, RAV4.
It's a great time to save on the 2021s while they last. Ooh, Venza. Toyota's got an exciting lineup to choose from.
Oh, Highlander, could you?
Oh, sure. You have to understand, it's the National Sales Event.
Right now, lease a Highlander for only $299 a month. Or buy a Highlander or Adventure Ready RAV4 and get special low APR financing for 72 months, plus $750 toward your down payment.
Hey, that's my line.
Toyota, let's go places.
I've been on my get back, cop a bag slow. You would never see that. Use the trap though.
Hey, man, we're back.
We're back.
Hey, you got any more of those fast plays?
Tons. Check them out.
Cool.
Oh.
You know what? We're gonna need a bunch of each.
A bunch.
Hey, thanks, bud.
Thanks, bud.
Fast Play is fast fun for everyone.
My peeps, look what I got! Hey, we'll play them on the ship.
The Maryland Lottery has lots of Fast Play games, and some have a progressive jackpot.
With a Honda in your garage, every summer adventure leads to another. Kickstart your summer with a great deal on a Pilot, Accord, or HR-V, only at the Honda Summer Sales Event.
Hey Washington fans, Alex Schreimel from Box is here to tell you that you don't have to wait for the big game anymore to get in on the action. With Box's free-to-play games, you can pick boxes every day and win huge prizes across all your favorite sports. All you have to do is pick a box, match your numbers, and win. So download the app now and start playing today. Games are completely free, and players can win official Washington football team merchandise and other great prizes all season long. Boxes, it's anyone's game.
Welcome back into the Players Club presented by Pepsi. It's crazy to think that week 1 and we're getting into week 2 already. It's come and gone already. We've got a lot to get into, but before we get into some of the major headlines, rookie debuts, upsets, surprises, whatever you want to call it, we got to throw some shade because a couple weeks ago, if my memory serves me correctly, one of us was sitting here throwing shade at the Eagles as the worst team in the division. And again, the win over the Falcons. Nah, you weren't. Oh. The win over the Falcons, it's a one win. You know, the Falcons probably still haven't, in my opinion, recovered. They still haven't recovered since that Super Bowl loss.
Well,
okay?
The Falcons are worse than we thought.
So I'm going to hand the shades to D'Angelo because we're going to throw some shade presented by Pit Vipers, the man, authority, and respect. At Fred.
All right, that's fine.
Because
that's fine.
Fred's ready to take
I'm gonna still stand by
Do you remember
my word?
this moment?
Yes,
let's play. Roll the clip.
Please do. I don't feel sorry for Philly sports, all right? I don't feel sorry for Philly sports. Ben Simmons can't shoot. Get him out of town. The Eagles are the worst team in the NFC East, all right? And I hate the Philadelphia Phillies because I was just at a Nationals game and Bryce Harper ran me out of there with a solo home run in the ninth. All right, so guess what? No love for Philadelphia.
And after week 1, the Eagles were the only team in the division with a win.
Jalen Hurts, man. Jalen Hurts can make everything all right.
He continues to prove people wrong.
Make some plays with his legs, extend some plays, kind of what Taylor Heineke should bring to the table. It just makes you a little bit different. That's why we've all been saying, Matt Nagy, if you want to still be an NFL head coach,
you have a chance to.
You have a chance to.
For first games of the season, saw some surprises too from some of the older guys. I'm gonna start with Aaron Rodgers as we're talking about quarterbacks. Look, shout out to Jameis Winston, 5 touchdowns, and the way he's been climbing back to work back. Like, I was happy for him.
That should shock you.
No, it shouldn't. But people hated on him for so long. So I'm happy that he's doing and proving all the haters wrong.
And he studied eating W's.
Because
what is it?
Eating W's.
You know, he like to eat W's on his off time. So I'm fine with it.
But no, I mean, Jameis is an elite quarterback that people just have never given the credit to.
Never.
You know, he turns the football over, or he has in the past, but I mean, Kirk Cousins turned the football over.
Yeah.
He still got a chance. And so, you know, to have Jameis spend that time, you know, behind Drew Brees with Sean Payton, who I think is one of the sharpest play callers, and you know, we call him the quarterback whisperer.
He can make it happen.
Even Teddy Bridgewater, you know, watching him work in Denver, you can just see that he understands that I don't need the home run ball every time. Being around Drew, watching Drew not throw the ball downfield at all. I mean, Drew even made fun of himself
on TV.
Like, the deep ball is back. You know he couldn't throw it. But still was effective in that offense, manipulating, you know, defenses with his eyes, moving linebackers. And so that was my dark horse in the NFC.
The football gods got it, the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers has been to Spain. He's been on tour with a rock band, and football guys don't like man buns, and now he rocking a man bun. So what I'm telling you right now, he's did too much.
Man, stop.
Yeah, he did
Long
too much.
hair, Aaron Rodgers with the football with the bun is.
I'm saying I was hot, but Aaron's still Aaron. Don't get it twisted. But
it looked like a marriage. You've seen a marriage that's finna be over, right? Headed to divorce.
It's still a long
that
season.
Last year, before you know you finna get a divorce, you ain't talking. You ain't sleeping in the same room. You ain't doing none of that. We know that relationship is at a breaking point, and it looks like they ain't a team anymore. Like, so I'm telling you, it's a fracture in there, and he caused it.
Man, they gonna win the division.
I do want to get into some hot takes presented by Geico. Whether you rent or own, Geico makes it easy to bundle home and auto insurance, and you can visit geico.com to see how much you can save. So looking ahead to week 2, I want to know, what are your hot takes, predictions? You like to have those hot takes and put stuff out there. So I'm going to let you go first. I'm going to give you time to think, D'Angelo.
My hot takes is the Ravens go get every running back from Adrian Peterson to Barry Sanders off their couch, put them in the backfield, and continue to rush for 2,000 yards this season.
Gosh, I mean, you know, so much, but I probably would say that the Kansas City Chiefs are the real deal. I mean, even when they're supposed to lose, they still find a way to win.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, I ain't never counting that my homeboy Patrick Mahomes out, because I mean he's different.
All right, well, that'll do it for us here on the Players Club. Of course, we've got more behind-the-scenes stories, games, content coming each and every week. So be sure to check out a new episode every Friday across podcast platforms and Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. on NBC4. And then we'll see you guys here for more next time. For D. Hall, Fred, Cam, and myself, Renee, have a good one.
Stop throwing that shade.